The Democratic Alliance, DA, has issued a serious warning to President Cyril Ramaphosa over his government's decision to host the upcoming 2025 G20 Summit in Johannesburg. The opposition party says the city is in no condition to welcome the world's top leaders, citing years of poor governance, neglected infrastructure, and critical service delivery failures as major concerns. Speaking at a press briefing, DA Gauteng leader Salim Semanga described Johannesburg as a city in deep crisis. He highlighted several ongoing problems that, in his view, make the city an unsuitable choice for hosting such a high-profile international event. Among the issues he listed were broken infrastructure, persistent water outages, erratic electricity supply, pothole-ridden roads, non-functioning traffic lights, and increasing levels of violent crime. According to Semanga, even areas like Sandton, considered Johannesburg's financial hub and the likely location where most G20 delegates will stay, have not been spared from these challenges. One of the DA's central criticisms is that the city of Johannesburg has no permanent city manager in place, and the municipality has suffered from political instability for years. Semanga argued that it's irresponsible to gamble with South Africa's reputation by showcasing a city that is still grappling with basic service delivery. He accused the national government of focusing more on appearances for the sake of international guests, instead of actually addressing the root problems that affect residents daily. The G20 Summit, scheduled to take place in Johannesburg in November 2025, is a historic one, as it will be the first time the summit is hosted on African soil. South Africa, which took over the G20 presidency from Brazil in December 2024, is positioning itself as a champion for the Global South, with a focus on themes like inclusivity, equality, and sustainable development. But the DA believes these noble goals risk being overshadowed by local dysfunction. In response to the growing pressure, President Ramaphosa held a meeting with Gauteng political leaders, where he reportedly expressed concern over the deteriorating state of Johannesburg. He called for urgent intervention, stating that the country must present a city that reflects well on South Africa. He also announced the formation of a presidential working group aimed at stabilizing governance and fast-tracking improvements ahead of the summit. Still, the DA says these moves are coming far too late. They claim that the ANC-led government is only acting now because of the global spotlight and is not genuinely committed to fixing the deep-rooted issues faced by Johannesburg's residents. The DA insists that the resources and energy being poured into temporary fixes for the summit could have been used long ago to rebuild a city that has suffered from years of mismanagement. On the global stage, the situation becomes even more complicated. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has already hinted that he may not attend the summit, citing dissatisfaction with South African policies, including controversial land reform proposals. Some American officials have gone as far as to advise against participating in the event, accusing South Africa of aligning itself with ideologies they oppose. This raises the stakes significantly for South Africa's international image and could influence the level of participation by other major global players. Despite the criticism, South Africa's government remains determined to move forward. Officials argue that hosting the G20 is an opportunity to showcase Johannesburg as a modern African city and to use the summit to push for global economic reforms that better support developing nations. They also see it as a chance to put African concerns such as climate change, food security, debt relief, and digital inclusion at the center of the global agenda. However, the risks are real. If Johannesburg fails to deliver a safe, stable, and functional environment during the summit, it could be seen as a national failure. Not only would this hurt South Africa's credibility, but it could also weaken its voice in important global negotiations. On the other hand, if the city manages to pull together and shine under pressure, it could signal a new era for African leadership in world affairs. In the end, this isn't just about logistics or potholes. It's about how a nation presents itself to the world. It's about whether South Africa is ready to step up and lead on the global stage while also fixing what's broken at home. The DA's warning may be political, but it also reflects genuine concerns many South Africans share. What do you think? Is Johannesburg ready for the G20? Or is this a political gamble that could backfire on the government? Let us know your views in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an update on stories that shape South Africa's future.